Richmond could close as early as the next school year if one Richmond School Board member gets his way. Jonathan Young says the cost-cutting move is needed to save the division millions of dollars. Richmond reporter Henry Graff joining us live from City Hall to explain. Henry?
Kirk, good evening. Yeah, Young says his consolidation plan for these schools would save the division about $5 million each year. Now today, the superintendent, the mayor, both not commenting on this potential proposal, but one Richmond school parent says it is about time we have a discussion about crumbling schools. 5 Richmond public schools could be on the chopping block. On Wednesday, school board member Jonathan Young plans to introduce a school consolidation plan during the school board's budget work session.
Bottom line, we have to do this. 8,600 vacant seats across the school district. It's not a conversation that anybody per se would prefer to have, but it's a conversation that adults in being responsible have to have.
While Young says ultimately it would be a board decision on which schools, he has identified 5 that could be shuttered due to low enrollment. Those include Woodville, Swansboro, and Fairfield Court Elementary Schools, Henderson Middle School, and John Marshall High School. That's about 1,700 students in total. Young says children from closed schools would have the option to attend another school in the division, and they would receive bus transportation there.
Think of just utilities alone. You're spending all the money to heat the building for 100%, and you have fewer than half of the students in the building.
The division is facing about $2 billion in costs to fix up city school buildings.
We don't have the money to chip away at that. These buildings have gotten in terrible shape, and then they become an expense instead of an asset.
RPS parent Becca Duval says City Hall should pitch in with money from its rainy day fund to rehab city school buildings. She also says recent money spent on community centers should go elsewhere.
Why are we paying to maintain 2 different properties that should be able to serve the same function, and just one's functional during the school day and one's functional after hours, if that?
Back out here live, the current budget proposal for RPS stands at about $228 million, with a $35 million increase over the current budget we are in right now, mainly fueled by collective bargaining wage increases. The school board set to finalize its budget sometime next month. We'll keep you posted. For now, we are live and on your side tonight here at Richmond City Hall. I'm Henry Graff, NBC 12.